he has fun with him. He doesn't
No, it's
pretend to be this
like not only
uppity
Shanks,
guy.
dude. Like if you look at the Straw Hat crew in general, like according to most of the world, they're like these terrible people who destroy every place.
Yeah, the
that they
Marines
go
paint
to.
a very bad picture of them.
Yeah, but then when you have people like Cobra who's like, holy shit, dude, I was gonna die and my daughter was gonna die and my entire kingdom was going into like civil war and you kind of saved us from this crocodile dude. You know what? Not a bad guy after all. Who would have thunk it? And that's like shows the way again how different people can have different perceptions of you, and that's the thing. Like after getting a little more into Buddhism, I can see a lot of these things in Oda's work as well, because they have the whole this thing of a blind man being able to see better than those with sight based on their voice alone. There's a Zen koan about a man who was judging people by their voice, and Fujitora is literally that. He's like, I wish I could have, I wish I didn't blind myself so that I could have seen your face, because your voice sounds like somebody who's really kind and somebody I would like to know. And like now that I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, that's true. It's the dude. It's the freaking dude. And again, I think it's not like we want people to be, we want authors to be like moral policing the community or something.
No, you still have your freedom.
Yeah, but it's just that when you do put out like good ideas into the world, people are going to adopt it a lot more. And again, this idea of not being just a cog, or not being like a way to make money for somebody else in this like overly capitalistic world, I would say, that we live in right now. I don't even need to like look around. I can tell you right now, like I have a mic over here, had to buy it. Laptop, had to buy it. Internet connection, have to buy it. All these figurines, have to buy it. The phone I'm using to shoot, had to buy it.
We're not really free. We're like slaves to a lot of stuff in our society. Yeah,
and I'm not kidding. Like just today, but like I genuinely thought I couldn't do the stream because my AC stopped working. I thought I would have to go to Sid's house and just sit for the stream because there was no other way. And
yeah, we were gonna do that.
We don't even have any we don't even have like, I don't know, 1,000 followers. Forget like people with 1 million or something. It's not like you guys are going to like absolutely hate us if we have bad quality in audio for one episode.
Like it won't even actually matter if we don't do it. But we want it to.
But we want to do it well, and that might very well be a fault with us as well, where we're like, okay, everything has to be like perfect.
Like we're like at least one person will watch and enjoy, hopefully. So we like do it. Yeah,
but you don't have to be a part of this. Okay, you do. Okay, let's be real. You do have to be a part of the capitalistic world. But at least the idea is out there through manga and other stories as well, that you don't
there
have to.
There are people who live without being it. Yeah, but it's rare and it's really difficult to
really
do.
Fucking difficult. But the idea is there. Like there are a lot of people who are, trying to get 4-day work weeks out now. There are a lot of people trying to get a universal basic income in countries. So these things are like insane, because at the end of the day, as a human, you're just supposed to be allowed to live, and that's what like a lot of manga just teaches you, like to just live.
Yeah, and even like see that idea, people like it was popularized like I think around 10 years ago, I would say, or even like I don't the Into the Wild, the book and the movie, right? Like everyone was talking about it at that point. It was literally about a guy who was tired of society, tired of his shit. He took his van and went out to live in the wilderness on his own, right? Because he doesn't want to depend on society. And
did
like
he
that
die
shit
a
popped
very
off.
gruesome death in the end?
You died a gruesome death in the end.
Yeah, but in the end he had to accept.
Your future.
Did you?
No, in the end he had to accept that but that book still ends on a note where he had to accept that he needs to depend on society in order to live, right? Because you see his struggles trying to live alone. But at least something like that gave out that idea to people, and people were talking about it for long, and people still keep talking about it, like, yo, I saw Into the Wild and like it's crazy, like. So there are forms of media that popularize those ideas, but manga also has those. Yeah, exactly. And the thing even like the thing you were saying, bro, about like good morals and stuff, like I think this is something we both have talked about, at least like since we were making stuff, like, because like we were like, yo, hey, I have like, because we are in the field of like creating and making things, and we do plan to make a few things in the future which we are still working on, right? And we have talked about like, hey, I grew up, like I watched all these things that influenced me, that gave me these ideas and taught me things as a kid, and we ourselves want to create something that will give that we can put out the ideas we want to, and other people will learn from it, like we did as a kid sitting in front of the TV watching these things.
Yep.
Like we've talked about this, how we want to put this out.
Yep.
And I think that is important because it influences you to, go back and give and create something that helps like the future, hopefully.
It's always like, okay, I think the core idea of anyone trying to pass on something is basically like, I went through this shit, so here is how you can avoid going through this shit that I went through. And it's like, okay, I'm just giving you a warning, like, hey, this bad shit happened to me, but let me tell you a story of how you can actually make it work to your advantage. Something like that. That's really, again, that's really fucking important, because you're basically...
That is important, but I also say it's important also to figure out some things yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of times...
It's not like these stories...
No, sorry, you can continue your point, but I want to say, like, I was supporting your point in a way that as a kid, right, some people, like, if at a stage when your parents say something, when you're like angsty or something, when your parents say something, you're like, no, I'm not going to listen to you when you're giving me this advice. But if you like make a mistake yourself, you're like, oh shit, like I should have, like, make sense what they said because I like fucked up. But at some kids, rather than listening to their parents, they like watch anime and they're like, yeah, he taught me this, so I shouldn't do it. Rather than your mom saying don't waste food, they're like, yeah, Sanji said don't waste food. And there are kids who do that.
Right now,
yes, I'm calling you out.
Attack.
Yeah, and otherwise you yourself you realize that yourself that you shouldn't waste food.
Yeah.
Like you have moments like that in your life. So yeah, like of course making mistakes is an important part, and whether you listen to people telling you or not, because not everyone takes advice. You're like, you're bullshitting me, I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I wasn't like, okay, Sanji said don't waste food, so I'm going to listen. Dude, that way, I would have been like one exercise freak with the way Zoro lifts weights every day. Okay?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but it was more like, I was like, shit, that makes sense, because that made me think. It was like, what if I was actually on a fucking rock after a shipwreck and I had no food? I was like, fuck, I shouldn't waste food.
It makes you, exactly. So, like, suppose your mom tells you, bro, like, don't waste food. You don't see the consequence.
Yeah.
But here you see the consequence of what
exactly.
happens if you waste food. And that consequence is really important to realize. Because when you make a mistake and realize it yourself, you are facing the consequences of making that mistake. And that's how you realize it, right?
I think, most society is pretty much coded to like learn from mistakes. No one is going to take shit at face value. No one is going to take a lesson like, okay, you are not supposed to do this, and no one is going to go like, I'm not going to do this. Everyone is going to be explorative. They're going to see what happens when they try it.
This is
when
particularly true for Audi, because there will be situations where, like, if a new flavor of noodles comes out, okay, at the very base, okay, this is like the most basic shit ever. Like, I will eat it, or Sid will eat it and be like, listen, don't even try it. It is disgusting. I swear to God, that's not, you can't even consider that food, because it's like, you'll probably fall ill if you eat it. It'll be that bad. And I'll be like, you know what, I usually trust you for food, but I'm gonna try this for myself. And then he tries it, he's like, this is disgusting, why did I buy this? I'm like, Audi, come on.
Which noodles is this?
It doesn't have to be noodles, Audi. You do this with literally everything in life. Audi, don't even bother watching this, just watch this instead. It's much better. Like, oh dude, why did I watch this, dude? It's so bad. I'm like,
God, but that's human. If you tell us not to do something, we'll do it, right?
No, but see, that's the thing. If that's it's like, if Audie's mom came to him and said, yo, Audie, don't watch this anime, you'll be like, well, no, mom, I'm going to watch it. But then, if we are watching anime and we know what kind of good anime is, and we're like, Audie, this is not a good show for you to watch right now. How about you try this instead? He's like, oh, you think you know shit, huh?
But he's figuring out what he likes and discovering his own taste.
Don't you think he could have figured it out a lot sooner if he had listened to a couple of things?
Well, I'm not going to be like, I'm this patron saint of anime and I know what's good. Like, I just like what I like, and I'm like, hey, Audie, I like this shit. Let me know if you like it. And then he's like, no, I don't like this, or yes, I like this.
No, that's the thing. He doesn't do either, because he's like, no, you suggested it, I'm not going to watch it. You don't suggest something.
Watch what I tell him.
That's when I'm going to watch it. Oh yeah.
He does watch what I tell him.
Yes, he always listens to you and not me. But anyway, point being.
Apparently. But yeah.
Point being. Yeah, it's just, a lot of things being passed down, which really help kids like me who were
And it does
sad
help
and
you.
alone and had
Yeah,
no
it helped
friends.
people like, yeah.
And
the
wasn't
thing
on good
is,
terms with my family and
like you are ready
yeah,
to go
it
on,
really
of course.
helped you. I think I did a project in college, right? Like it was a project and I interviewed you for it, bro. Like
Yeah.
I basically went around asking my friends and classmates how anime has helped them in life. Like because I had a lot of people who've come across anime and I just asked them how anime has helped them in their life, you know? And I was like, yeah, like what did it teach you? Like, you know, did it make an impact? Or even if it didn't, let me know. And I also asked people who don't watch anime, you know, like I asked one of my friends, she's not interested in anime, but I asked her like, what is the first thing? She's like, yeah, I remember I like Card Captor Sakura. And I was like, holy shit, damn, like that's pretty cool. And like that taught her a lot of things about value and like, you know, life and how to treat people. And like that's amazing that even someone who's not interested in anime was influenced by something like Card Captor Sakura, right?
yeah.
And yeah, interviewing in like college, interviewing my friends and classmates and asking questions helped me realize that yeah, everyone has learned a few things from anime. Like that was literally one of my projects.
Yeah, of course.
And there are lots of things like that you learn personally also, because watching anime you see people doing all these like different things, trying out, like, you know, doing whatever they want. The world is you, like the world is yours, just like go conquer it, have fun, right?
Yeah.
And like this is my experience in India, basically. I'll say, like, so over here, when like I've wanted to try a lot of shit and I still try a lot of shit. Like I don't do one thing, y'all know, I like keep getting new interests all the time and want to try it. It's probably a terrible thing, but I like doing it. And whenever I want to try something or like I have the idea of trying something, people here are like they love telling me how it's wrong and what will go wrong when I try it. They don't encourage you. They're like, no, you won't be able to do this. You don't know how to do this. This won't work. That won't work. You're not doing this the right way. And like they bombard you with like, you know, negative. Like they basically discourage you from trying it because they're like, you'll fuck shit up, so don't even attempt. Like, and I've heard this all my life whenever I've tried to attempt something new, you know. And like I've met people later on in my life who I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try something new. And like Brew was also one of them, right? But I was doing it with Brew, you know. It wasn't like me just telling him I'm gonna do it. We're like, let's do this shit. Brew was like, yeah, cool, let's try it. And like, fucking damn, someone's doing it. Like we've had ridiculous fucking ideas that make no sense. But we're like,
all over there.
Yeah, we're like, hey, let's do this. And we were like, yeah, let's fucking do this shit. Don't give a shit.
Also, if there's anyone called Bob in chat right now, it's not directed at you. It's just
yeah, it's not like it said Bob. But yeah, again, I met other people who I was like, hey, I'm trying this new stuff. And they were like, yo, that's pretty cool. Try it. Let me know how it goes. Like, keep me updated. I was like, damn, like, that's cool. Someone is excited at least for something I'm trying, and they're encouraging me.
And then Sid started his body modifications.
Instead of telling me, like, it's not related to body modifications at all. Instead of telling me that
he agreed there.
Instead of telling me that, hey, you'll do this wrong, you'll do that wrong, you'll do this wrong, they actually encourage you.
I think
that
there's
went
nothing
in line
wrong
with
with
what I
saying
saw.
something that is wrong to do, so long as you provide a decent explanation for it. Like if it's genuinely fucking
no matter
wrong,
how
then
much of an explanation you provide, people aren't happy
But
with
like,
it.
if I tell you, hey, I'm going to
so for the
start
most part,
learning
people
music,
say shit.
what
don't
wrong can
do
you
shit
say?
Because, you know,
hey, I
it's
can
like,
say a lot for people learning music. Okay, I will be very vocal about that because I had a freaking brother who got like 500,000 instruments in the house and he would play them all at the same time and play them all
he's
badly.
good at them.
Have you heard him play the saxophone?
No, you told me he's good at them. I think your word for it.
He took months learning the saxophone, okay? It was torture. I hope he's not on this kazoo player now. Oh yeah, and that freaking kazoo, dude. He got a kazoo as a gift and it was the most shrill, annoying piece of shit sound I've ever heard in my life. It would like go through my ear and pierce my skull. It was that bad.
Yeah, so Brew was one of those people who tell people what's wrong. I'm kidding. But
hey,
yeah.
like do what you want, but if you suck at it, I'm at least going to tell you you suck at it.
Yeah, but again, like, that's probably not a healthy thing, but even, yeah, we have a habit of shitting on ourselves if we don't like something, and that helps us improve. Probably not healthy, but that's how we've been doing things.
Definitely not healthy, but sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not healthy, but like I tend to keep shitting on myself in order to improve, and that's the only way I've figured out how to help myself improve. So yeah,
step by step.
Someone clearly needs therapy, but not right now. Too poor. Anyways,
it's not about him
continue.
being poor at all. Don't worry, guys. That's a
It is.
full
I'm very
excuse.
poor.
But
I'm
yeah,
very
one more point which I wanted to. I think this might be one of our last points. But yeah, basically one more point which we already talked about was when we were shooting a Chainsaw Man video and Sid was like arguing about it. And I don't like Chainsaw Man for the whole idea that it's putting out. And
I was surprised. I didn't even think about that. Like once you said, I was like, "Holy shit! Wait,
Yeah.
is it like?"
It is on
because,
Shonen Jump.
because we read manga every day, right? Like I'm like, I don't even think about like kids reading it.
Yeah.
And once you mentioned that, I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? What? Like, what? That doesn't make it shouldn't be there."
Yeah, and so the thing is, like, it's not like I am. Like Sid likes to joke about me being woke, but I am not anywhere near woke. Okay, I'm actually
Yeah, he's
terrible with this shit.
definitely not.
I have said some very offensive stuff without realizing it was offensive at all. It had to be told that it was offensive, and then I had to be explained why it was offensive, and then I was like, now I get it. Okay. In fact, even on the podcast, I've said stuff which I've then had to edit out because it is like
Yes,
not
he has.
appropriate to say such stuff. So I don't really have that filter.
That's why live is scary.
Yeah. I don't really have a filter over my mouth, but I learn. I try my best to make sure that other people don't
Live and learn.
yeah, that like other people aren't like affected by my words unless I'm genuinely trying to affect them.